The Cardinals get hot again and finally get back to 500 this week as the Royals slide against a tumultuous schedule this last week, having to play both the Dodgers and the Yankees. Yankees at home, Dodgers on the road over the weekend. Bryce joins us as well here today on the Papa Shronos podcast. Welcome back. And first things first, as of recording right now, we're sitting at 103 subscribers, so shout out to everybody that subscribed. A couple weeks ago, I kind of put forth the effort to get to 100 subscribers before the NFL season started, and it's just absolutely been blown out of the water. It was 77 subscribers at that point already, surpassed the mark of 100. So we're going to keep on pushing with the content, baseball content as well as football content, more film reviews coming. So I'm going to push and make that 200 subscribers. Let's just double it. Let's hit 200 before the football season starts. Before opening night, let's get the channel to 200 subscribers. But I really appreciate it, and it's definitely been somewhat humbling just to see that jump up every day. And shout out Chiefs Kingdom, because there's been a ton of views on that Wanya Morris film review that I did. I'll leave the link in the description below to the Wanya Morris film review. It's been awesome. Just the feedback I've gotten and different comments on that video as well. So I really appreciate that from everybody, and pushing the channel up and over 100 again. 103 right now. That's crazy. Just mind-blowing to me. But got plenty of baseball content to get into today, talking Cardinals, Royals baseball, as well as a little bit of league leaders, kind of talking about just ballparks, period, with Bryce. So we'll go ahead and jump straight into that conversation with Bryce. All right, we about to welcome back in Bryce to the Papa Shronos podcast. How you doing this week, my man?
Hey, doing good, man. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, how's everything been?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's actually been a great week. It's been a great week to be a Cardinals fan. Lots of wins, minimal losses. It's been a good week, so
Yep,
I can't
yep.
complain too much.
Hear that?
So I guess we'll just get right into it. The main stuff I had to
Yep.
go over this week was, well, first of all, Pedro Paez had an absolutely phenomenal weekend in Chicago over this weekend. And since we last spoke last week on the pod, the Cardinals have went 5-3, I believe, this last week. 5-2, excuse me.
Yep.
Um, Tough couple of pitching performances though. Paul Skeens came into Busch Stadium and delivered a great performance. Him and Michaelis absolutely dueled. That was, I think, Tuesday night in a 2-1 game that the Pirates ended up beating the Cardinals. And really, like, my main concern with the bullpen is Helsley. I mean, Helsley's been awesome, and I want to say picked up his 24th save today. But it seems like he walks at least two every single time he comes into the game. So it's been a little bit hectic, during his performances. Other than that, this week Michaelis has pitched really good. Miles Michaelis had two great performances, including one on Sunday afternoon against the Cubs. 6 1/3, five strikeouts, one earned run, gave up 4 hits, and won the game. And then against Skeen on Tuesday night, 7 innings pitched, six strikeouts, only one hit allowed in those 7 innings pitched. So I mean, Michaelis had a really good run here this last week or so, and Cardinals are on the way up.
Yeah, no, I was watching highlights of the Skeens game or whatever. What do you have, like 10 strikeouts or something like that? It was just cool, like either or, whatever he had. It was at the end of the game. That took him
Eight,
out. I was like,
eight
the standing
strikeouts.
ovations, 8 strikeouts. Yeah, it's so impressive. But just the respect and the standing ovation that Cardinals Nation gave him. That's I mean, there's not too many ballparks, much less teams that will do that fan base wise. And to me, it's just like that's the tradition that I love. Like that brought me back where it was just like, damn, what year are we in? What respect do we have? But good ball play is good ball play, and the pitching from him was good. And it was just really like I just really appreciate that from Cardinals fan base. That was really, really respectful, really cool, really cool. So
Yeah, I
just
thought
want
it
to
was
say that
too.
real
And
quick.
Yeah, Skeen talked about it. I actually put that in my notes for this podcast
Mhm.
because I thought the same thing. I thought it was pretty cool, and especially just a young, what this is like fifth start maybe, like first five,
Yeah,
six starts about. So yeah, to go into Bush
yep,
Stadium and kind of experience that environment and able to get a standing ovation from the home crowd. It's like that
yep.
game recognized game. Did an excellent job.
No doubt.
So with
Yeah, no
that,
doubt.
with today, the Cardinals are actually would make the playoffs if the playoffs started today,
No
surprisingly
kidding.
enough. And that's at 35
Yeah,
and 35. So the Cardinals are back at 500 at the moment, and they're in the same exact place as the Royals currently, number 2 in the wild card standings.
it's impressive. It's
I
good to
know,
see that
right?
they. Yeah, no, it is. I'm happy for you because I can see a little bit more like enthusiasm with it. Like our I feel like our beginning podcast it was like, oh, are the Cardinals going to lose 100 games type deal? But I mean, just I know how it is. Trust me. I've spent my time with it, but it's good to see that. I was like, yeah, because I was like, don't doubt teams in June, man. Like you can't doubt anybody in June. So let's keep it going. It's fun.
No, that's a fact. I
Baseball's fun
mean,
again.
yeah, no, that's a fact. I feel like definitely early season. It's,
Yeah,
I mean, just like we talked about in the last podcast, the marathon of 162, right? That was the
yeah,
what I ended up titling it was we talked about kind of, shortening the season possibly, things like that. But it's fun. It's a
yeah,
fun
yeah,
marathon, you know what I mean?
yeah. No doubt.
And the Royals with the record difference, 41 and 32 for the Royals versus 35 and
Yes.
35 shows you the difference between the American League and the National League right now because when you look at the National League, I mean, you got two teams that are really at the top. And I know when we talked last week, the Phillies were the best team in baseball. They've been overtaken by the
Yeah,
Yankees. And the Royals this past week, tough
yeah,
week. Tough week for the Royals. And I mean,
yeah.
we knew that looking at the schedule going in, playing the Dodgers and the Yankees,
Yeah,
The Yankees coming
yeah,
into Kansas City and then you guys are in LA. The Royals are in LA this weekend, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. At least taking one
yeah.
from each of them,
It
I
was a hell
think
of
is
a stretch, man. Like right? No, keep
yeah,
going.
go ahead,
Sorry.
a hell of a stretch.
Um, yeah, no, yeah, hell of a stretch, man. Like, dude, like, what was it? Three against the Mariners, four against the Yankees, and then what is it? Three or four against the Dodgers? It's just like, geez, I pay attention. It's like sometimes I just don't. I forget the longevity of certain series that they have. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Time, the amount of games, but still, like this was like a prove it or lose it type of series in a sense of like their identity moving forward in the ball club. You know what I mean? And then even with like I can't just say the Royals because they're not everything, but like even the Cardinals. You're talking about how they're making a move, they're coming back. I was like, you can't ever doubt a ball club like that. Eventually something will flip.
No, that's a fact. And even just with the injuries, because
You
just like this weekend, Pedro Pages hits two home runs over the weekend for the Cardinals. Is huge for the Cardinals in Chicago. And
know?
I mean, he wouldn't even
Yeah.
be on the roster right now if Wilson Contreras wasn't hurt. So, just the marathon, like we keep saying, it's the marathon of everything. And the Royals looks like they've got a little bit better of a stretch coming up where let me double check this, but yeah, it's at Oakland for the next 3 games, off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at Oakland, and then over the weekend, next weekend, it'll be at Texas.
Yeah. So
That'll
it's still a good
and
ball
round
club.
out round out the end of the month though with the Guardians at home. That'll be a fun series and an interesting one for sure.
I will. That's gonna be like to me, like that series is because what I'll be honest, who was it? It was Eric Patrick invited us to the game on the 30th, and I was like, dude, that almost cannot be any more fitting for like a ball game. That's just like, hey, this could decide, the path of the team moving on the second half of the season, and that can be for anybody, really, anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's a fact. And I
first
mean
half
that's
isn't
literally
just nothing.
yeah, and I mean that's literally the last 4 days of June. So going into July,
Yeah,
and I mean, really once we get to the All-Star break and past the All-Star break, I mean, everything goes so fast at that point, you know. We're starting to
Yeah,
get where
yeah,
we're honestly, I was looking at the stats and looking at the league leaders and almost surprised at where we were at. You know, I had to get in my head of like where we're actually at in the season, you know, looking at Aaron Judge with 25 and Marcelo Ozuna is having an outstanding season right now. And I don't know
yeah,
where that really came from. He's third in the league in OPS and just
yeah,
20 home runs, 62 ribbies, hitting 322. Like, where, what?
yeah,
Like
yeah, no
2015
doubt.
Marcelo Ozuna's in full effect?
Some of them have those years, man. That's what's crazy about it. Is it's like it's surprising, but it's also like maybe this is what he was supposed to do then, but it matters more now. You know, it's
Right.
like, hey, whatever it may be, good for him. You know, so uh, but yeah, this whole break that's coming up, I was like, this break's gonna be crucial. It's gonna be crucial.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Especially with the 3 games against the A's, that's a series you have to win. And the
Yeah,
Rangers, honestly, I don't know where the Rangers are in the scheme of things.
I still respect him regardless too. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
They're 5 games under
that's the thing.
500.
They're the world champs, so it's like
They are the,
they
yeah.
have that aura about them. So you still play them like they, you don't look at a record. I was like, you look at a ball club, but you look at the past. You know what I'm saying? Champs. You still play them like they're the Yankees or the Guardians or anybody like that. So I respect them like that. That's enough to say.
No, that's a fact, and I think we know better as Chiefs fans even more. You know, you get the best. You're
Yeah,
gonna get the best from every team you play when you have won a world
right.
championship or coming off a world
Always,
championship. Exactly. So
always, always.
yeah, completely understood.
It's crazy, but it's fun. It's like I get it. It's just like damn, it's almost like a playoff game every time. It's like damn, I didn't know putting a chip. It makes sense, but like putting a chip on your head, man, people are coming. So
The crown is heavy.
crime is very heavy.
Yes, sir. So, with that being said, yeah, going back to the Royals, I think that
Yeah,
those are 2 series you need to win. The Marlins
yeah,
after that, and then going into the Guardians to round out the end of the month. I'm sure we will, pod again before then, and talk about that
yeah.
series next weekend, or not next weekend, but a weekend from next 2 weeks from now. I'm
Hmm.
an idiot right
No,
now, Tyler.
momentum going in. No, you're good. Momentum is everything now too.
Absolutely.
Like, carry some momentum into the clubhouse at the end of this, and let's get good outcomes from these couple of series between both ball clubs. St. Louis and Kansas City. That's
Yeah, and
what
I
it's
think you
all
said it
about.
best. Yeah, I think you said it best in the beginning of the season. It's just about winning series, just continue to win series, right? And that's one thing where
Yeah,
the Royals have kind of lacked this month, really. Coming into the month, the Padres lost that series. The Guardians, they split because they didn't play the Wednesday game, so could have went either way. Did win the series against the Mariners. Won Friday, Saturday, lost Sunday. That was a 4-game skid, as then they rolled into the Yankees series. It was 4 games against the Yankees. And then with the Dodgers, they did take one though. It's a nice 7-2 win. How about the grand slam by MJ Melendez?
after that, and then today is playing the outfield, diving catch. He like overcorrected and like got himself back on track. Went and like full full spread dive catch. That and I mean, what the biggest thing to me is the big word this year is relentless. I would say that's a big word. I feel like it's like even if we fall short, there's still positives in the ball game that prove to show the next couple after that. So that's what I'm proud of. I was like, we can keep playing ball, we can keep worrying about these schedules and the standings, but like the improvements in a ball club that like are either unnoticed or noticed, that's the big thing to me right now.
Yeah, I agree. And MJ Melendez, man, that's a hell of a ball player just because I remember, when he was just coming up here in the last couple of years, just the fact man plays outfield and catcher. Like that's quite a um what am I trying to say? He's jack of all trades kind of guy. I mean, I don't know if he does he play the infield at all?
I can't remember. Yeah, I remember MJ. He played catcher for a little bit.
Yeah, but it was
Catcher.
just catcher in the corner
That's
outfield.
catcher. Catcher. I was like, yeah, I don't remember him playing the
I know
field
he
or
was in
anything,
left
but yeah,
field the game that we went to earlier this year.
yeah, he's been playing left field most. I mean, every night or every other night. So it's just weird to see him because it's like I didn't know who he was or what he was about, but like to see his growth between the two positions is pretty solid. It's cool.
Yeah, no, I feel that. One thing that I would say, just because I think that, or at least from my understanding, from what I heard about Ed Melendez, is kind of he was the heir apparent to Salvi. What do you think about Salvi and how much does he have left in him? How much longer do you expect him to play?
Salvi, I love Salvi always and forever. I say it's tough to say because it's like you have people. I don't want to say too much just because it's just like our generation. I don't like to bring in the whole other sport aspect of it, but it's like LeBron. It's like
Hmm.
he said one thing, but it's like, can you really ever trust it? Because certain people have that ambition for a very long time in their life. So I mean, Salvi, like realistically, I love to see him play until he was, 35, 36, 37. If it made sense to him though. I'm not one of those people who's just like, oh, betting on Salvi or, this or that or what I feel like is right. I mean, honestly, he could if you wanted to.
Salvi turned 34
So
in May.
yeah, 37, that would be awesome, man. 37 Salvi. I don't care.
See him till he's
Salvi
37. That gives him
playing
what, 3 more
first
years?
for us. Yeah, just cause that's just like it's nostalgia. But he's also been like he's the cat. Like I
I
don't
mean, it's
know.
not
I
like
want to
he's
see the cat
slowing down.
play as
It's not
long as
like
he
he's
can.
slowing down though. I mean, he's got 11 home runs, 45 ribbies
No,
already.
no
He's
doubt.
hitting 292, OPS of 852, slugging percentage 482. I
Yeah,
mean, he's not slowing down. I mean, he has the best OPS of
no,
any
no,
catcher in the league right now.
yeah. It's crazy, crazy impressive. Been very like awesome to see. Um, I
Fourth in
was like
home runs
Salvy's.
amongst catchers.
Yeah, that's impressive too, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather be. It's not like a milestone or a goal for me in the season if I was him, but it's still impressive to see like the stats that you're doing just playing good hard ball every day. And yeah, that's all I want to see in a baseball club, man. You know,
Yeah. And I
let's see
mean,
improvements. Let's just keep
it
going.
the rules like don't change anything, from with the Royals, but
Yeah.
obviously you got the DH for him. I mean, if anything, and one thing with Yachty that was so great that, and I mean, he played catcher for the entire time, but just to see him be able to kind of pass some of that knowledge to the next generation, play the season that he played, that last year, I think it was Kisner with him most of that last year because I want to say Contreras wasn't signed until after Yachty was already gone, but
Yeah,
just
probably
to see the
February.
mentorship, and even if he's
Yeah.
just playing DH here, time to time, once he's starting to get older, and even Albert Pujols, Albert Pujols' last year, if it wasn't for the rule change, he would have never came back to St. Louis and, put hit 700, and reach all those milestones. But it's also the mentorship because all of those players on that team talked about it, whether it was Goldschmidt, it was I remember Juan Yepes talking about it, and these guys just talking about the mentorship you get from a guy that's been in the league for 20 years, and I mean Salvi at this point, I mean, how many seasons has he played?
What, 13, 14? Was it
That's
14?
what I thought.
Something like
So
that.
even just to have that mentorship and him on the team, and it's almost like having a whole nother coach,
Hmm.
on the bench with you, which we don't have to get into it, but Albert's last year was Ollie's first year, so it's not like they had a manager sitting on the bench anyway. So they had Yachty and Albert.
It was a fun year though. That was a good year for
It
baseball.
was it was a
I'll
very
always
fun year.
remember that.
I will
I
too, and
enjoyed that.
I got to see Albert play at Wrigley Field that year, and that was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I remember that.
yeah,
That was
that'll be one
badass.
of my favorite memories of all time. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah, that was badass. That photo you sent me and like your sheets that you picked, absolutely perfect. I was like, I guess anybody would be like, yeah, let me get down lower, but like, I don't know that picture though. I just remember it's like it was like this much of a screen, like almost like an old school camera, where like it was the top deck of Wrigley, and then you saw Albert at home, and that was it. You saw like a stripe of outfield.
Yes.
Like those are badass.
You saw that batting
Like
stance and
that's
you knew
all
who
it
was
was.
there.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
easily. It was just cool that you had it like that. Like, and that was the whole camera going forward. That was cool. And that also brings like the interesting aspect of like keeping the old stadiums. That they all have that, you know, whatever it may be. There's certain interesting aspects of them. So
Yeah, no, that's a fact. And I mean, with Wrigley, like, I remember I sent you pictures of the seats and how the seats like damn near look like they've been sitting there for 100 years. Like, I don't even know, when the last
yeah.
time they probably changed out their seats up there. And that was cool because that was the first time. That was my second time at Wrigley, first time that I got to sit down somewhere, and I was happy. I was actually happy I ended up getting those seats up there in the upper deck just because I was kind of down the first base line. And I actually put up a article on my Substack about it, A Night at the Friendly
Hmm.
Confines, but it was just really cool just to
Yeah.
see the history and you could just feel it almost like the history when you go sit down in these like tiny little seats and you're just like, damn, bro, what year is it? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. No kidding.
it's cool, but yeah, and
That's
Fenway's
cool.
one that I really want to see, especially seeing the difference because like this year I got to go so far I've been to Kaufman, Bush, Oracle Park, and Globe Life, the Rangers' new stadium. And the Rangers stadium was so fascinating just to see,
Love
a
life.
brand new stadium. Yeah. Globe Life was fascinating. And
Yeah.
also being indoors for a baseball game. I remember I just kept looking up at the roof thinking I sat behind home plate all the way at the top for that game. And that was a dope seat just because you could see everything. But I just kept looking up at the roof like, this is so weird. I'm inside watching a baseball game. Like, but it was also like 80
Yeah.
something outside, and I got in, and it was like a cool 65 in the stadium. So, shout out to them for making that ballpark. Also, walking outside the ballpark in Arlington, I did a full lap around the ballpark in Arlington, and that was wild to see. And just to think, like, yo, I couldn't imagine playing right field, sun beaming on you. It's 110 degrees in the middle of August. Like, you're just ready to punch somebody
Mhm.
because you're like, why they got me out here in this heat like
Oh
this? So
man, no
I
doubt.
totally get the move. And then, just every ballpark has its own. I don't think that in any other sport you get that, right? Like every ballpark is
Yeah.
its own ballpark, it's its own aura. It's just it is what it is. Like going to Oracle in San Francisco, right on McCovey Cove, like just an insane atmosphere versus what you have in Texas. But like if you're a hockey or a basketball arena, I mean it's you- standardized basic arenas.
Hmm.
Like there's little differences here and there, but I mean for the most part, you get that with the outside of the building. And I think even with football stadiums. And football stadiums I'm not as well versed in because I've only been to the Coliseum in LA and Arrowhead. So I
Hmm.
don't know really the differences as much, but again, like the field is its own thing. Like I don't, back in Houston when we were kids growing up and they had the hill in center field and just all these different things, all the different dimensions, every ballpark is different. Like it makes makes baseball is a sport to its own, man.
Hmm. No doubt. That's why I was like, man, you know what? We should go and experience fucking Fenway.
Dude,
Sometime soon, man. Like, I don't care what it takes. I feel like we should go take that, you know what I'm saying, digest it and get on a pod about that. Like that would be cool too. Or like we go and break down stands that we've been to. It's like, obviously me, I've been to Bush once, Kaufman a million times, and I've been to what? I believe that's about it, my man. Like,
gotcha.
yeah, Kaufman and Bush.
I
So
plan on
yeah.
hopefully getting to see Petco before the year's over. I
Heck
got
oh yeah.
a trip to
I
San
want to go to
Diego lined up,
Denver.
and hopefully
I
now
want to
that
go
one
to
too.
Rogers. I'm
I
looking
might
forward
try to.
to
Oh, Yankee Stadium too. How could I forget Yankee Stadium? I went
Yeah,
to Yankee Stadium
yeah.
last year. I forgot about that. Yeah, Yankee
Well,
Stadium
I
was
mean,
cool.
anything between then and now, it's like what you've been to all time Oracle, Yankee. You've been to, I mean, obviously Bush, Kaufman. I mean, what else? You've hit, but yeah, Rangers. I mean, you're up there. Cool.
Yeah, starting to work on it.
Chasing the
Yeah, I'm checking them off the list.
ch- chasing the stadiums down.
Yes,
Yeah, no, I'm
sir.
playing it. That's cool.
Well, so
Um,
it's funny since we started doing this podcast. I think this is the first week that we actually, having you on for the baseball and doing the baseball on the weekends. But this is the first time where the Cardinals have actually had a really good week and the Royals have struggled a little
yeah,
bit. So
yeah.
I honestly don't expect that trend to continue personally, but
I don't know.
we'll see. The Cardinals have a very interesting road ahead of them as well. They've got the Marlins and Giants coming up this week on the road in Miami, and then they play the Giants, which will be, oh, that's because of that Rickwood Field game. Now that one I'm
That's
very
cool.
excited for. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's
You
cool.
got
That
a
is nice.
Thursday night game, and the Thursday night game is at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, and that'll be a
Yeah,
home game for the Cardinals. Off Friday night, then back at Busch for Saturday, Sunday, and on into a series with the Braves and then the Reds the following weekend. So I think both teams have a little bit lighter of a schedule, coming up towards the end of the year. The Braves will be a tough one for the Cardinals, and then division rivals are division rivals. So we'll see how that goes with 4 games with the Reds. But other than that, man,
the Reds.
yeah,
Yeah. It's about to be
so,
fun, man. It's about to be fun. This is the
yes,
momentum builder of the season right here. This is where you know what I'm saying. The playoffs are built right here. People don't realize that playoffs are built right here. Don't forget that.
no, I kind of feel you going into the last bit of the first half of the season. I kind of agree with you. So again, man,
Yeah,
it's always awesome having you on. I appreciate it. You coming on, and until next week, we'll have to get on here again and continue to break it down the season. But yeah, like I said, thanks for coming on.
yeah. No, man. Thanks for always having me. It's a good time. Still talk it. Let's go baseball, man.
Absolutely.
Go
All right, we'll
Royals.
see you next week, bro.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too. Always appreciate Bryce stopping by the pod. Good stuff to get into and just talking Cardinals and Royals again. Cardinals really been up. Back to 500, 35 and 35 at the moment as we speak. And where that leaves the Cardinals right now, talking trades at the end of the year and things like that. I definitely kind of got into that and was looking into it. Mozeliak opened up about it. And one thing that I kind of wanted to talk about that didn't get into with Bryce, but just to get into it real quick. And also, shout out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day over the weekend that we had. Always fun. And, MLB always does a, great job for Mother's Day, Father's Day, all the different holidays through the summer, obviously. But the blue for Father's Day, the pink for Mother's Day. It's pretty cool. And I really liked the hats this year. I liked how the bottom of the brim was blue. And I don't remember if on Mother's Day it was pink. I know the logos were pink on Mother's Day, but the underneath the brim being blue, I thought was kind of cool. So getting into kind of what Mozeliak said was looking for a fifth starter as well as a right-handed outfielder, right-handed bat outfielder, and I think it was Redbird Rant that I read it. I couldn't find the article again when I was looking for it, but I really think that the Cardinals. I agreed with what they said that the Cardinals needed to do more than just get a right-handed starter just to fill the void essentially. Need something a little bit more than that. I've also seen Tyler Anderson talked about, who's the ace of the Angels right now, and an Angels team that's definitely struggling. And as of right now, Tyler Anderson has pitched very well. 2.58 ERA right now. 14 games started so far this season. 87 and a third innings thrown. He's given up 25 runs, but he's pitched pretty well. Again, 258 ERA. I mean, that's pretty hard to do in this day and age. Having the best season of his career, he's also under contract through 2025. So I don't think, depending on what you have to give up to get a guy like Tyler Anderson, I don't hate the prospect of getting him. Journeyman. Let's see if he's a left-hander. So it'd be another lefty for the rotation. Obviously, Palante's probably not going to do it for you and get you to where you want to be, I don't think. Michaelis has really stepped up this last week. Me and Bryce talked about that. Michaelis has been awesome. And I don't know. I also saw Harrison Bader thrown out there, possible reuniting with the Cardinals. And I don't hate that idea. You know, I just don't know where they'll go. But it seems like they need to make a splash. And to me right now, the Cardinals are in... They're lucky that the National League is as bad as it is. As I mentioned earlier on the podcast, Cardinals are second place in the wild card right now, which is the same place as the Royals, but the Cardinals are 35 and 35. Meanwhile, the Royals are, what did we say, 41 and 32. So a little bit of a difference between the Cardinals and Royals, but respective standing-wise, they're in the same spot. So I don't know. I don't know if you want to go all in this year with the Cardinals. It's kind of, to me, either all in or all out. I've already seen rumors of Helsley possibly traded, Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, contracts all up at the end of the year. I think there's some club control with Helsley, but obviously with the veterans, Arenado and Goldschmidt, at the end of the year, either they're walking or re-signing, you know, and you're going to find a new deal for them, and both who have kind of struggled this season, struggled last year as well. So you wonder if they're on the downswing of their careers. I mean, Goldschmidt's 36, and I'm not sure the age of Nolan Arenado. I'd have to look that up. But I know it's kind of around the same as Goldschmidt, I'm pretty sure. They're in the same age group, close to that. Let me look it up real quick. With Nolan Arenado, but I just think either one of the two, you got to go in all in, or you got to go all out. And I just don't know what right now at 35 and 35, it's hard to say exactly where you would want to go with it. The pitching has to be upgraded, and I really think it's on whether Arenado and Goldschmidt are going to step up and end up, you know, on 33. Arenado's 33 right now. His birthday in April, so he will be 34 next year for next season. But I think it's on if these guys are going to step up and play. You know, how well are they going to play, I think is a big part of it. You can go out and pick up other talent, you know, to help you out. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what your superstars are going to do. And already Helsley, you know, I'm a little worried about what Helsley is going to do just with all the walks. It seems like every time he's out there, he's giving up a couple of walks, high-stress innings. He's getting the saves. You know, he's doing his job, but he's making it a little bit higher stress than you would like it to be. So with that being said, right now I'm still unsure. I'm going to give it another week or so and feel it out and see where I think the Cardinals should be at. Are they buying? Are they selling? If you got an opinion right now, let me know in the comment section below. Are the Cardinals buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? And how you feel about John Mozeliak at the moment. Obviously, he's gotten a lot of flack over the last few years. A lot of trades that have gone the wrong way for the Cardinals in recent memory. But with that being said, also the Cardinals, you know, let me know in the comment section below, you know, how you feel about the Cardinals. Is 500 what we can expect? Is it going to get better from here? Because I'm still unsure. It's been very up and down the last few weeks. The Cardinals finally got back to 500 a couple weeks ago. Then, of course, they went on a slump, turned it around this week, going, I think, 5-2, I think is what I said earlier. Great week. And to close out, and you know, you just got to keep on winning series and keep moving forward if you're the Cardinals to try to turn, you know, right the ship and turn it around for the rest of the year. So, we'll see where it goes. Again, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that subscribed. It's awesome to see the engagement that I've had with everybody, and the new subscribers. So welcome to the channel. If you have just subscribed, word is kicking my tail tonight. So, but if you did, I appreciate it. Again, at the time of recording, we're at 103. I'm just doubling it up, man. We're going to get to 200 before the NFL season starts. So smash that subscribe button for me and follow along. More baseball content as well as more film reviews coming up. And, of course, more Chiefs content. We're going to get back into more Chiefs content on the pod, I promise, very soon. So, again, I appreciate all the support and the feedback. And until next time, we'll see you.